Hey Cryptoverse, let's take a look at some charts from the latest BAT article for Brave New Coin. So similar to Ripple and Stellar, BAT has a bit of a circulating supply problem in that there are 1.5 billion tokens. The team has 500 billion. I was unable to find, or 500 million. I was unable to find the lockup schedule, if there is one, the vesting schedule, the wallet. So if you know anything about that, leave it in the comments below. But just based on the supply, it's going to have a hard time moving up. Similar to Link, when stuff moons, the team's going to sell it down because they're like, okay, it's time to take profit now. I love Brave, the browser. I think they're doing great things. I love the concept. I just think it's going to be tough as a store of value. It's a great medium of exchange. It's going to be tough as a store of value to accrue any value long term just because of the supply. Also, most of the publishers probably aren't holding their BAT. They're probably just selling it. That's just anecdotal for my own evidence. But if we look at YouTube, that's the biggest publisher chunk out of all the chunks. Twitter's pretty big as well. But it's good to see that YouTube and Twitch especially, I think that those are the two biggest places that it has to disrupt. If we look at the YouTube channels, it's almost at 250,000. Nice little hockey stick up here, and the Twitch hockey stick looks even better at nearly 25,000. Those will probably keep going up. I don't expect this to go down anytime soon, especially with more and more people looking to go to Patreon or other avenues for non-ad related income. If we look at BAT daily transaction volume and average transaction value, so the line in the fill here, you can see that every month transactions pop and then drop. I think what this represents is the distribution to publishers from BAT/Brave, just the rewards that they send to people every month. As somebody who receives these rewards, this is what I think it is, just based on the dates. So in general, the real active volume or active transactions are somewhere down here, whereas every month they pop and drop, pop and drop, pop and drop. So until daily transactions can get above this level, it's unlikely that the coin itself is going to do anything. When we see transactions pop and stay up, week over week, organically, even this was likely distribution, from the Brave to publishers. But if we see this pop in transactions week over week, we can say, okay, maybe there's something going on here as far as people on exchanges, exchange wallets, and or more publishers, but it's not just the rewards in this case for this coin that are being distributed. If you look at monthly active addresses and NVT is sort of in the middle of the road historically, flattening out. That's not necessarily bearish. It's definitely more bullish than bearish, but what you want to see it is at lows historically. You definitely don't want to see it creeping up or breaking highs or anything like that. Falling NVT says it's bullish because there's more utility. Rising NVT says there's less utility. So you definitely want more utility. Monthly active addresses are creeping up at the local high here. Again, if we see this month over month, week over week increase in addresses, then we can say, okay, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of speculation going on here, particularly other than just rewards being distributed to publishers from Brave. Looking at some technicals, I have the horizontal bars here. That's the VPVR, visible profile, volume profile of the visible range. I always screw that up. And then RSI at the bottom just to check for any bull divs, bear divs, extremes in RSI, stuff like that. So like here's an example of a bear div. So we have a higher high in price, lower high in RSI. That suggests waning bullish momentum. So those are the kind of things you want to look for all the time. And again here, lower low in price, higher low in RSI, bull div. No divs here, it's just ranging. Not really much going on. Historically, it's pretty much smack dab in the middle, 20 cents. You can see the nodes on the volume profile, so 25 cents, 35 cents. If it goes above 35 cents, if it goes above this local high, then there's likely something going on from a speculation perspective where we're bullish and it has nothing to do with publishers or anything like that. You can see a W attempt, W for win, M for murder. So that would mean there's some bull fuel in the tank, but as it sits right here, it's just kind of meandering. If we look at the 50 and the 200, the green and the red line, it's, again, the middle of the road. If we get a bull cross on the 50 and the 200, the golden cross, and we get a W, and we're above 25 cents, then we can say, okay, we're probably going to 35 cents. After 35 cents, we're going to figure some stuff out and see if it goes higher from there. Historically, there isn't much volume, especially like at 65 cents. A buck would be massive, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, definitely. Looking at the cloud, again, middle of the road. If it's bullish, we want it above the cloud. If it's bearish, we want it below the cloud. It's in the cloud, which is indeterminate, no trade zone, just a ranging mess. And lastly, looking at BAT BTC, lots of volume in this range historically. You know, I had this sort of ascending triangle at 5,000 to 6,000 sats as it made successive higher highs, or excuse me, higher lows, and then it popped and then it dropped right back down to that range. So as it sits on the trend, you know, it's below the 200, below the cloud slipping bearish. There's no bull div or bear div here. And volume wise, it's right sort of in the high congestion area. There's support at 1900 sats. If it can get above the cloud, above the 200, it's got a lot of congestion above here, so it'll probably continue ranging. What I do see the possibility of is a massive V and a U. There's even a little W here, so the V and the U would be an Adam and Eve bullish reversal pattern. Again, if we're looking at bear divs, just the importance of seeing those on the chart. Here we get a lower high in RSI and the massive pop in price. So clearly there was waning bullish momentum there. So overall, BAT BTC also indeterminate / bearish on trend.